Did she cheat? That's the question being asked about a professional poker player.
If I was there and I heard any rumor of this, I would be like, whoa, 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 whoa.
Postle's winnings, according to the lawsuit, were not known to have been achieved by any other poker player.
We're diving into the most shocking moments when poker players were caught cheating live on camera. From audacious calls that made viewers and players question everything, to flat out using AI and poker solvers, these players pushed the limits and paid the ultimate price. Get ready for scandal, outrage, and a behind-the-scenes look at the underbelly of poker's most controversial hands. The call that shook poker to its core. Our first stop is Hustler Casino Live, the stage for one of the most jaw-dropping and debated hands in poker history. The clash between Robbie and Garrett is nothing short of legendary. Both players hold hands that most would have folded pre-flop, yet this hand builds into one of the most unlikely hero calls ever witnessed. Was it genius, madness, or something else entirely?
That was like one of his first TV appearances.
One of his first ones, yeah. That was like before he won all those tournaments. And
funny.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, Robbie really mixing it up here, calling Garrett's raise with Jack-4 off. It's blind versus blind and 10-10-9 with a couple clubs. He's gonna bet 2,500. Wow, and Robbie's gonna call here with Jack-4 with the Jack of clubs.
Garrett, a seasoned pro renowned for his sharp reads and relentless aggression, holds a massive draw. With a strong reputation and an $11,000 pot on the line, he applies maximum pressure on Robbie, expecting her to crumble under the weight of his tactics.
With combo draws. One heart, and wow, look at this. What is she thinking about here? She...
20. Your face. That's the shit I got.
How often would she do this with the 10? Could he possibly bet 3-bet here?
But Robbie, showing a defiance rarely seen at the poker table, refuses to back down. Despite holding just Jack high, the pot swells, and it's a battle of nerve and instinct, with Garrett's relentless aggression colliding with Robbie's shocking resolve.
3-betting, and yup, there's the all-in. There's the all-in. Garrett, like I said, he's just so... She's gonna put a time chip out? She said that she thought...
Then comes the moment that stops everyone in their tracks. Robbie considers making the call that no one would have predicted. Her hand is so weak that even thinking about calling seems absurd. Meanwhile, Garrett, holding 8 high but boasting 53% equity, technically leads. The poker gods must have been grinning as the pot continues to grow. But is something more sinister at play?
I call.
She calls?
Twice.
For once, but it's up to you. Yikes.
Oh my god. What's going on here?
For once, but it's up to you.
Is it possible that her hand might be misread in the card graphics or something?
Because I have a shitty hand.
You do?
Both players agree to run it twice, but hesitate to reveal their cards. The refusal to show such marginal holdings adds another layer of intrigue, leaving the table and viewers alike in stunned disbelief. But is it possible Robbie has other reasons to keep her cards hidden, at least for now?
We'll go to the river. The river is a 9.
That one's you for sure.
They're gonna run it
Unless you have, like, pocket
twice.
five
I
And
don't think so.
she's
You have
gonna...
like small pair?
You give me that much credit?
I don't know.
Haven't you seen what I've
She's
done?
good with the first one.
Let's turn him over. You're already not that. Oh. No.
I want to see, does she have Jack-4?
She had 4 Jack high.
What?
Whoa!
Look at Whoa, look at Garrett's face.
Then, the aftermath. Garrett's disbelief morphs into suspicion as Robbie's audacious Jack-high call wins. The poker community was left in turmoil. Was this a moment of unfiltered brilliance, or the hallmark of a cunning scheme? The hand was so polarizing that it sparked an Inside Edition feature, making waves far beyond the poker world. It wasn't long before Inside Edition picked up the story, broadcasting it to audiences worldwide. The episode broke down the controversy for everyday viewers. Robbie's reputation and integrity were placed under the microscope, with millions debating whether she was the victim of an unfair witch hunt or the mastermind of a poker scandal.
Did she cheat? That's the question being asked about a professional poker player who's being accused in the biggest scandal in the game's history. She walked away with $270,000. But did she use a secret signal to help win that jackpot? Here's Stephen Fabian.
Did this glamorous professional poker player cheat at a high-stakes poker game?
He's gonna bet 2,500.
The game pitted poker veteran Garrett Adelstein against Robbie Jade Liu, a rookie to the world of big league poker.
She calls?
Oh my God.
Robbie won the $269,000 pot with an audacious winner-take-all play that surprised many fans watching the game, being live-streamed from a casino in California.
What? Whoa. Look at
Adelstein is a hunky former contestant on Survivor from 2014. He looked stunned by his loss.
You look like you want to kill me, Gary.
I don't understand sort of what's happening.
Inside Edition's coverage elevated this poker drama to mainstream consciousness. The episode dissected the controversy, turning what was once a niche debate into a global water cooler chatter. Robbie's integrity was under the microscope as millions questioned whether she was an innocent victim or a cheater.
Adelstein claims he was clearly cheated. Eagle-eyed viewers took note of this moment when Robbie appears to fiddle with that chunky ring on her finger. Then she places her hand under the poker table, and when her hands emerge, look, she's apparently turned the ring around under her finger. In a tweet, Adelstein wondered if Robbie had a hidden device that simply vibrates to indicate you have the best hand. Did the glamorous woman poker player have an accomplice watching the live stream of the poker game? And did the ring vibrate, signaling to her that she had the winning hand? Fueling suspicions is the fact that after the game, Adelstein says Robbie gave him back the money.
True to their format, Inside Edition presented Robbie's side of the story, giving her a platform to defend herself. Her perspective added depth to the narrative, but didn't resolve the swirling doubts.
I spoke to Robbie today. Did you cheat during this poker game?
I absolutely did not cheat at this poker game, and the investigation will show that.
Why fiddle with the ring so much?
I'm a fidgety person, and I never thought I'd ever have to actually explain this on national television, but I do have ADHD, and I did not take my medication that day.
Casino protection expert Sal Piasanti showed me an old-school buzzer called a thumper, once used by card cheats.
Here, I'll put this inside the glass, and you'll hear it vibrate.
And so that signal, that could be signaling, hey, you have the winning hand, or that could be signaling what the other guy at the table has.
So did Robbie cheat? The questions linger. Was she simply fiddling with her ring? Did she have an ally on the production team? The debate rages on, with no definitive answers in sight. Now, what do you think? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We want to hear from you. And are you enjoying the video? Don't forget to hit subscribe and ring the bell so you never miss the latest poker drama. Jonathan Tamayo and the 2024 World Series of Poker main event, AI cheating scandal. Jonathan Tamayo's controversial performance in the 2024 World Series of Poker main event remains one of the most talked about moments in poker history. The debate about using AI and real-time poker solvers rages on still today. A podcast featuring Daniel Negreanu, Doug Polk, and Alan Keating, where Negreanu accused Tamayo of crossing ethical boundaries, provided a lot of perspective from the pros. Daniel argued that Tamayo's use of unauthorized AI software gave him an unfair edge, tainting his victory. Negreanu's stance was absolutely clear. Cheating has no place in poker, and Tamayo's win was, in his view, invalid.
I'm shocked, frankly. If I was there and I heard any rumor of this, I would be like, whoa, 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 whoa. What's new now that didn't exist for the last decade is the tools available today coming from AI, solvers, and this sort of thing. So I think in part, it's probably a good thing this happened on the biggest stage, because now it's a conversation we all have to have and go, okay, bro, is this the direction we're going in?
Daniel Negreanu's outspoken criticism has shaken the poker community to its core. The scandal surrounding Tamayo's $10 million win at the 2024 World Series of Poker main event has spotlighted AI tools as a potential threat to the game. Negreanu warns that unchecked technology could reshape poker, eroding its integrity and spirit.
Essentially, there are varying degrees of RTA, right? There's the massive extreme version where you're literally playing and you have a solve in real time telling you what to do. Like, that's the most egregious version. You know, the softer version is before the cards are dealt, you're looking at a chart, so you're prepared to do that, right? You know what you're going to do. Now, they're both RTA. They're going to help you in real time. First of all, any use of solvers or AI in the tournament area should not be allowed by the player. Listen, when I play poker, I have a notebook in my phone of different players' tendencies and tells and things like that. And like, I'll say, oh, okay, I'm playing with this guy today, and I'm gonna look at that. Like,
traditional note-taking allows players to sharpen their skills over time, nurturing a deeper understanding of the game. In contrast, AI tools can strip away the human element, turning the game into a cold calculation. In the past, players honed their craft through experience and study. However, AI solvers bypass this process, reducing poker to a series of calculated moves. Negreanu insists that ignorance of rules is no excuse. Whether Tamayo knowingly cheated or not, the violation undermines the game's fairness.
But I think in a case like this is where you have to really sort of, you know, get clarity, you know, and saying like, well, I didn't hear the announcements. That's not like, that doesn't absolve you, right?
Negreanu's criticism of Tamayo's defense is sharp and direct. Claiming ignorance doesn't absolve a player from responsibility. For Negreanu, even unintentional rule breaking damages the game's integrity, a point he makes emphatically. Now let's shift focus to the main victim affected by this, Jordan Griff, the runner-up in the World Series of Poker main event, who walked away with $4 million, significantly less than Tamayo's haul. Griff has his own thoughts on the matter, feeling that he may have been cheated out of a monumental win.
I don't know how things would have been different if they weren't using the solver, but it's even just sad that this is what the story out of the main event is, right? It should be, positive stuff. It should be, great stories about, people making these deep runs and coming into money and, trying to be ambassadors for the game. And here we are talking about, someone who's, trying to take every little edge they can.
Jordan Griff's focus was on preserving the fun and entertainment of the World Series of Poker. He shared his disappointment that the scandal has taken the spotlight away from the true spirit of the World Series of Poker main event. Instead of celebrating Jonathan Tamayo's victory as a source of inspiration for up-and-coming players, the narrative has shifted to discussions about AI software and allegations of cheating. For Jordan, the real loss here is how these controversies overshadow the incredible achievements and memorable moments that should define the tournament each year. Meanwhile, Doug Polk doesn't shy away from the hard questions, asking if Jordan plans to pursue legal action, not only against Tamayo, but also against the World Series of Poker organizers. With millions at stake and the integrity of the tournament on the line, it's a possibility that he has everyone talking.
So once you have had that time, if there was a case, would you consider filing a suit?
I would say it's always a possibility, but I'm not.
Jordan's response seemed almost too polished, sparking speculation that he might have been prepped on what to say. But how are the biggest names in poker reacting? We turned to insights from legends like Daniel Negreanu and Alan Keating to get a sense of where the poker community stands on this hot-button issue.
It's unclear. It's not in the written rules, really. There's a slight thing that I think is really weak people are bringing up. But we have the intercom announcement, which is certainly something. But Nevada gaming rules, I would say it's pretty clearly against. And if you're going to go the legal action route, that is, I think, what really matters. Would you guys pursue legal action here? I guess, like, in your shoes, neither one of you are going to do that with your brands or if you're well known. But should the people at the table, should someone like Griff, where they feel like, should they pursue legal action if they feel like their opponent was using something unfair to have an advantage against them?
I think from a financial perspective, it's minus EV overall. You're going to have to spend a bunch of money on lawyers. It's going to be very difficult to prove how much was gained from this process. And most juries and most courtrooms are not going to have any understanding of this.
Negreanu brings up another critical issue. The broader poker community may not fully grasp the impact of the AI-assisted cheating. Explaining its nuances to casual players poses a significant challenge, potentially complicating efforts to enforce rules and uphold integrity.
So the odds of you actually getting anything of substance past your legal fees is, I mean, unlikely. So I wouldn't. I guess nobody knew. Like, then nobody knew at the table. Then the floor didn't know. Nobody knew. It's just sort of like there's not much you can do there.
Yeah, but the law is clear in the Nevada gaming that this is against. There's no ambiguity. This is not allowed. So, you know, but a court and a jury or a judge or whoever it might be, they're not going to be able to really discern that, right? And I'm sure there are lawyers that would take it on for win only.
Right, and then like, how far does it extend? Like, I played the tournament. You played the tournament. Like, can we sue? You know what I mean? Like,
I feel like suing is embarrassing. It's just
I
like,
agree.
As a man, whatever, like, figure yourself out outside of courts. You know, when people are like using courts to take money from other people, I just think it's unbecoming.
And rather than relying on legal battles, Negreanu and Keating advocate for the poker community to establish clearer rules and enforcement mechanisms. They argue that poker's essence lies in its human element, which must be protected against technological encroachment.
All right, well, while that's true, sometimes it is necessary, and if you did realize afterwards your opponent was using software to beat you with this much money at stake, and they're over there running calcs to beat you in this thing for $4 million, I don't think it's like crazy unrealistic to be like, oh, my opponent used something they shouldn't have to win $4 million off of me. I'm going to try and pursue that.
Sure, and then the slippery slope is, who do you file it against? Are you filing against the player itself, or are you going to file it against the operator, or both, right?
Keating also reflects on his experiences at the 2024 World Series of Poker main event, sharing insights into the controversy's broader impact. He emphasizes the importance of proactive measures to maintain fairness and ensure that similar incidents don't occur in the future.
We saw the laptop on the side of the table. You know, people were looking at each other like, isn't that cheating? Like, is someone gonna jump in? Like, what's going on here? Okay, if you don't have a big stack, these situations aren't very complex. And if it's just all in or fold or something like that, then it looked like the computer's playing poker for them. Push to these tournaments and say, we need a rule change here. These things need to be banned.
Both Daniel and Alan agree on the need for the World Series of Poker and, of course, the other governing bodies to step up. These emphasize that it's not just about addressing one scandal, but implementing stricter rules to prevent future incidents. It's about maintaining a level playing field, ensuring fairness, and preserving poker's competitive spirit.
Even Nevada Gaming have rules against this sort of thing. You know, they're specifically more geared towards like casino games. Like, you can't use any sort of aid in blackjack or craps, but it does extend to poker too. And make these rules as clear as possible. I think something to the effect of no use of solvers at any point in the tournament area, which is defined by the entire room. And any use of this could lead to a disqualification. And then when you put in like use of solver, that includes, you know, getting text messages or information from somebody using one and relaying that to you, right?
Daniel calls for clearer, stricter enforcement of rules. He stresses that the poker community needs transparent regulations to guide players and uphold the integrity of the game. This proactive approach could set a strong foundation for trust as the game adapts to new technologies. One of Daniel's points even caught Alan off guard, revealing just how significant the impact of AI solvers can be, particularly during pre-flop action.
The issue is, the real-time assistant, if you will, is when the next hand's about to be dealt and you've just been spoon-fed ranges that came from a computer that tell you, and they're basically, what they're going to do is poker, Hold'em has 4 streets, right? So you're essentially eliminating one in terms of potentially making any mistakes at all. You're literally basically saying, if I know what I'm doing here, I will never make a mistake pre-flop. You'll have to get me flop, turn, and river.
Wow.
And most importantly, too, when you look at online poker, right? This is why I'm like, how did you not? It's prohibited. You cannot use these tools legally online. You're not supposed to, you're not allowed. So why would they think or assume that you could do this in a live arena? I guess probably, frankly, because the rules were not written out as clearly as they should be.
Negreanu highlights how AI solvers have fundamentally altered poker, particularly pre-flop strategy. He argues that inconsistent rule enforcement has compounded the problem, making the need for clear, standardized regulations more pressing than ever.
So like, part of the enforcement has to come from players sort of ratting out other players, and then having rules that are so severe and so significant that that minimal edge Doug talked about, maybe 100K, it's not worth it.
What kind of penalties should players face if they're caught using AI poker solvers? Alan Keating weighs in, suggesting that the consequences must be severe enough to deter future infractions. His perspective sparks an important conversation about balancing innovation with fairness, ensuring that poker's competitive spirit remains intact as technology continues to evolve.
I mean, a 2-round penalty is kind of a slap on the wrist. What do you lose, like 3 big blinds? You know, I think it's
a big one. It's big. I mean, that's a lot. It's a lot of equity.
Good. It should be a lot.
It becomes a slippery slope. So like, I believe, the best approach personally is just to have a harsh rule on none of this stuff being open at any point in a tournament area. And if you're caught as a spectator, you're removed from the place. And if you're caught as a player, you face penalty of, what Alan said, which is 2 rounds or potentially, a full DQ.
The debate briefly shifted to lighter topics, like whether players should be allowed to wear sunglasses at the table. While some argued it provided an unfair advantage, others viewed it as a part of the game's culture. This playful discussion reminded everyone that poker is also about just having fun.
My friend group or something like that, if someone came and sat down and put sunglasses on, we'd all make fun of them. Like, until he took them off, we'd be like, no, really, you can't wear sunglasses.
Personally, I would ban sunglasses completely.
Do you think sunglasses help pros or recs more?
The one thing it does for sure is it disconnects people from the game.
Doug Polk raised an interesting perspective, suggesting that sunglasses might help casual players feel more comfortable at the table. The balance between maintaining competitive integrity and welcoming newcomers remains a key consideration.
Usually when I see someone wearing sunglasses in a tournament, it's usually someone that this feels like this is their big shot and they're kind of nervous and they're worried they're going to have tells, and they're usually more recreational based, and they're usually people that are uncomfortable.
Listen, online poker, you don't have to deal with any of this physical live stuff. Live poker, you do, right? Just the way, that's just the game.
The topic of headphones also came up, with Keating arguing that they detract from poker's social element. However, others pointed out that listening to music can help players stay relaxed and focused. What do you think? Do headphones enhance or diminish the poker experience? Share your thoughts in the comments below.
I really do think, so first off, people will just not hear stuff and it creates problems. I've seen that a bunch. I'm sure Daniel's seen it. I mean, you might even have seen this before. Like people,
again, it's also, you can make the same argument with the sunglasses as earphones can be considered a cheating device potentially too. I think some people will be annoyed by it, and push back. They just like to listen to music. They're not doing anything bad. And I think they'll just get over it. Like, we used to play poker. We used to play poker without
it. It was fun before the headphones.
When I started playing poker, people didn't even use Sony Walkmans. Like, nobody had headphones, and it was fine.
Yeah. As I was like getting that day too, I was getting a little restless. I started doing blind bets under the gun, just a little bit of a straddle. And so I suppose my question to you is, can we allow straddles in the tournament, especially the main event?
Yeah.
I'd have to think about that because I've never really considered it.
Alan arguing they create a barrier to the social aspect of poker, but we have to disagree. Sometimes having our favorite tunes playing helps us relax and stay focused. What do you think? Do headphones add or take away from the poker experience? Let us know in the comments. Enough about sunglasses and music. Let's get back to the main issue at hand. Daniel surprised many by suggesting that Jonathan Tamayo may not be entirely to blame. He argued that the pressure of high-stakes poker, combined with rapidly advancing technology, can lead to poor decisions, opening a larger discussion on the challenges players face in navigating this fine line.
I want to be careful that we don't rail this kid over the coals, Jonathan, because from all intents and purposes, he seems like a nice guy. I genuinely don't think I think he's caught up in the moment, just doing what he's doing. His coaches are giving him stuff. I don't think he was consciously thinking about the optics or anything like that. Right. And again, most importantly, the fact that they did it out in the open like that lends me to believe that he didn't think anything he was doing was wrong. He just was, trying his best to win $10 million. So I don't fault him really in that regard. I wish, if he looks back, I would hope that he would see how bad it looks, and take a different approach than Dominic.
This raises larger questions about how the game can evolve while maintaining its core principles. Through this scandal, Negreanu has emerged as a leading voice for fairness and integrity, emphasizing that poker's future depends on adapting to these challenges responsibly. Mike Postle caught cheating on Stone's live poker stream. Mike Postle, infamous cheating allegations during the Stones Live poker streams remain a dark chapter in poker history. Veronica Brill, a respected commentator and poker community member, first noticed irregularities in Postle's gameplay. His extraordinary winning streak and near-flawless decisions raised some questions, as they consistently defied the norms of conventional poker strategies. His ability to make the right call, fold, or raise with uncanny precision led her to believe that something was amiss. Brill's gut feeling was that Postle's success wasn't purely skill-based, prompting her to investigate further. In September 2019, Brill took her comments public, using social media and interviews to highlight the improbability of Postle's consistent success. She shared examples of hands where his decisions appeared almost superhuman, accompanied by video clips of remarkable plays. Her claims quickly garnered attention from the poker community.
Postle's winnings, according to the lawsuit, were not known to have been achieved by any other poker player, describing the chances of his winnings statistically unfathomable in the world of professional poker.
In one notable hand during a recurring Stones Live livestream hold'em game, where Postle exhibited his recurrent unorthodox style, Brill expressed her disbelief. Despite holding a solid hand, Postle opted to discard his cards rather than call a bet, leaving Brill to comment, "It doesn't make sense. It's like he knows. It doesn't make sense. It's weird." A week later, Brill doubled down on her suspicions by releasing an 18-minute video, as well as a series of tweets showcasing Postle's consistently peculiar hands, deviating from established professional poker norms. In each instance highlighted in Brill's video, Postle emerged victorious, or saved money by discarding a powerful hand that conventionally should have been played, according to the principles of professional poker players' game theory and conventional wisdom.
The allegations sparked widespread scrutiny of Postle's gameplay. Analysts and players reviewed archived footage of Stones Live broadcasts, noting instances where Postle's actions seemed too precise to be explained by normal variance or poker expertise alone. Many questioned why a player with such apparent skill wasn't competing at the highest levels against world-class opponents. The poker community rallied behind Brill, initiating a collective effort to uncover the truth. Investigations into Postle's gameplay revealed patterns suggesting that he may have had access to information unavailable to others at the table. The growing body of evidence lent credibility to the accusations and fueled a scandal that would rock the poker world. Despite mounting evidence and widespread support for Brill's claims, Postle consistently denied any wrongdoing. His refusal to admit fault left the poker community divided, with some viewing him as a fraud, and others questioning the extent of the evidence against him. What do you think? Did Mike Postle cheat? Remember to stay up to date with all the latest poker scandals, epic fights, and the sickest suckouts. Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Thanks for watching.